Hello everybody, Cal Banyan here, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. And once again with L. Ron Ferguson. If you're watching this anywhere except calbanyan.com, you want to go there right now, because right below this video on calbanyan.com is additional text and links and graphics that just makes it a whole lot more worthwhile. Let me tell you about L. Ron. L. Ron has had a lifelong interest in the mind and how it works and success strategies. And he was a hypnotist before he came to our center, went through our certification training. I believe it was our Week of Power. Might have been the certification course. I don't know. We can ask him here in a minute. Then he went, most importantly, through our internship, where I watched his videos and supervised him. He became a top-rate hypnotherapist. He still works at our center since 2008, and he'll straighten me out if I have some dates wrong or something. Really, tons of confidence in him. We refer clients to him all the time. He helps helps me teach my class, and we just have a good time. How you doing, L. Ron?
I'm doing good, Cal. Has it really been since 2008?
Hey, I think so.
Time flies.
I'm going to run out and look at your certificate and see.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It's been a while.
Gosh,
Wow.
like almost 4 years.
Yeah, there went my 20s.
Just like you've grown up in front of me. My dear boy. You were just a lad when you came to our center.
I know. The gray hairs have been popping out left and right.
Oh, we should talk about your hair.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. We're getting ready. We're going for the day. And he's got these little spikes going off the side of his head. And I said, man, you got to comb your hair. This is video, not radio, you know. So.
And I said, I got all the hair gel I can handle. I can feel like compressing my brain.
You know you can hurt somebody with those spikes.
Yeah, my natural state is, totally different story. Gonna have to ask my mom about the gene pool. Anyway, if y'all don't know who Cal is, well, you should. Cal is one of my favorite hypnotherapists in the world. But aside from that, he is the founder of 5-Path, Systematic Approach to Hypnotherapy, and 7th Path, Self-Hypnosis, which is a provocative, insight-oriented type of self-hypnosis. But aside from that, I have a lot of respect for Cal as a clinician and as a true innovator in this profession. And as always, it's our intention to bring you cutting-edge techniques on hypnosis and help you learn what really works. So anybody's lucky to learn from Cal, I am. So thanks for coming here today.
Wow, gosh. That's the only reason I really do these podcasts. I get to hear people say such nice things about me. Because when I go home, Maureen never says anything nice. So. Oh, no, that's not true either.
No, we know it's not true.
By the way, she's in Singapore right now. She's having some fun. And she's also over there doing a little work and discussion and training with our trainers over there in Singapore and stuff. So it's all good. And by the way, hello to our trainers in Singapore. So we got Pete and LD and Fazia. Okay, take over.
Okay. How about I start with a question?
Okay.
And this is a question that was sent to me by you, as a matter of fact, that you pulled off of a question that someone sent to you.
Yes, using the Ask Us button right up there at the top of this website.
Go figure.
It works. Ha! It worked.
Who had the idea for a button like that anyway? It sounds smart.
I saw it in some other website and I said, Jim, make it happen. And then he tells Dean, make it happen. And then Dean does it. Those are our two IT guys. Yeah.
So here it is. Hello, Cal. There's a typo here. I recently got, the essence of it is I recently got a certificate stating clinical hypnotherapist, which came from an NLP and life coaching place. I've been trying to find out what the difference is between hypnotist, certified hypnotist, and clinical hypnotherapist. And whenever I look on the internet, I get more confused. I love watching you and plan on taking advanced courses soon. Could you please clear it up and clear up the confusion for me? Thank you. And I'd like to add to that list, consulting hypnotist. Oh, and my personal favorite, master hypnotist. Oh, I just love that one. Hey, I'm a master hypnotist, or I'm a master hypnotist trainer, or I'm a master hypnotist and professional fisherman trainer. Yeah. What are your 2 cents on that, Cal? What's the difference anyway? What's the big deal?
I just want to be the master hypno guru of the universe. That would work.
I want to have that on my business card.
That's
right. And
right.
then I want to have an acronym for that. You know? MCGOU.
Mgoo.
L. Ron Ferguson, MCGOU. Better than a PhD.
All right, let me tell you guys out there, because there's a ton of confusion about this. Now, here's the deal. Every hypnosis organization in the United States and most places around the world are independent organizations. They're either nonprofits or private entities, and there is competition between them for membership and for people to go to their conventions and stuff like that. They're not government entities. And so, as a way of private enterprise, for a long time, and the times they are changing, they are, but they'd try to come up with the coolest names. Like, might have started off with Hypnotist, and then some other organization said, no, Hypnotherapist. And someone said, oh, that is so cool, because everyone knows you got to have a lot of education and training and be really smart to be a therapist. So they said, oh, I want to go to this school or belong to this organization where I can get hypnotherapy certification. And then other people say, well, you know, actually, when you complete my training, you're going to be a hypnoanalyst. Oh, analyst. That really sounds good. So there's therapists and there's analysts. So then they'd go get that certification. And really what it was who could come up with the coolest name. And so then there's also hypnotists, and there, of course, you had to have certified master hypnotist. And so all of those different names really meant you've been trained and certified by some independent organization, and that's what they call the people that they certify. And it really means nothing more than that. Now but things are changing, and that is, government is growing larger and larger, and sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes, and most of the time, it's a bad thing. And other organizations such as American Medical Association, American Psychological Association have always had this turf war, and they've wanted to protect this name therapist. So hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, and they really, really hated the use of hypnotherapy unless you were a licensed something else, like psychologist or social worker or something like that. And what I think is most brilliant, and I didn't think it was going to catch on, but now I'm starting to think it's going to catch on because I've been watching in the background what's been going on. Because there's certain organizations that they'd call their people who are certified clinical hypnotists. Ooh, that clinical's really, really bad in my opinion, because it implies that you do medicine. You have a clinic, and you know you can get busted for practicing medicine without a license even more readily than you'd ever get in trouble for practicing psychology without a license. So words like therapist and clinical are really, I think, starting to fall by the wayside. It's going to take a while. And simple terms like hypnotist, and probably one of my favorite ones, and I was resistant to this in the beginning, but now I'm starting to think that it was the right decision, and that is the National Guild of Hypnotists has been promoting this new title for a few years now, consulting hypnotist, because we wanted to have something that would differentiate us from the people who do entertainment or stage hypnotists. If you just say I'm a hypnotist, people think of the stage stuff. So Dr. Dwight Damon, one of the great minds in the profession, who's been around for a long, long time in this profession. If you don't believe me, just read his book, Hypnotic Recollections. He came up with this consulting hypnotist, because consulting isn't a protected title. And that's really what we do by and large, is we consult with clients, find out what changes they want to make, and then either teach them how to do self-hypnosis, or we use the hypnotic techniques that we know to help them reach their goals, overcome their troubles, and things like that. So here's what it is in a nutshell. Clinical hypnotist, hypnotherapist, master hypnotist, consulting hypnotist, and hypnotist, basically there's no significant difference between all of them. They're just names that have been adopted by different independent, non-governmental agencies, and behind it was some marketing and public relations type stuff, and there is a general shift now towards, I believe, what Dr. Dwight Damon, the president of the National Guild of Hypnotists, has now recommended that we use consulting hypnotists. As a matter of fact, probably a couple years ago, on hypnosiscenter.com, if you go there right now, you'll see that underneath our hypnotherapist picture, it has title, and it says consulting hypnotist. So, and it hasn't hurt our business at all. In fact, there is an upside, and that is there's a whole big segment of the population that would rather not go see a therapist because it kind of implies that there's something wrong with them psychologically or emotionally or something like that. And so one of my favorite things to say to my clients is that I don't believe there is anything wrong with them, that the experience that they're having, the trouble they're having is perfectly normal. Anybody who's been through what they've been through would be experiencing the same kinds of issues. And so mainly we work with normal everyday people with normal everyday problems, and we consult with them for the appropriate use of hypnosis to help them overcome those problems. How's that, Elron?
That's great, Cal. That is, I'm so glad that you answered that question, and I learned a few things myself. I mean, like I was saying, oh yeah, master hypnotist. These are just labels. They're just titles. Like Cal was saying, it is they're independent organizations that are non-governmental, and my favorite one is these days hypnotist. That's my personal favorite. I might change in the future, but right now, that's what I'm going with. I really like that. It's classic, and it suits me. What do you think of that, Cal?
Hey, I think we agree on something.
All right.
Hey, hey, I want to do a little congratulations here. Can I do that? Are we done with that topic?
We are done.
Okay. Dr. Bruce Eimer, psychologist, who's a five-pather, went through my class a few months ago, might be a year ago, something like that, less than a year ago, and one of my favorite hypnosis, and he's a hypnosis author. He wrote a book about pain management. And another favorite author of mine, especially when my new days in the profession, who wrote The Art of Hypnosis, The Art of Hypnotherapy, Roy Hunter, have come together, and they've written a new book, and which I just got a chance to read a proof copy of it, and to write on the back, for the back cover of it, and it is The Art of Age Regression. So, and it's going to be another instant classic, I believe. So congratulations to you, Roy Hunter and Bruce Eimer, and I think everything is going to be fantastic. And thanks for letting me do the pre-publication read and blurbing. I was happy to do it. All right, insider thing there. Back to you, Elron.
Thanks, Cal. I'm going to do a question. Yes, yes, yes. How about this? My client, has been on a significant amount of medication for a long time. I've heard that this can impact brain chemistry if it's done over a long period of time, that people have permanent shifts in their brain chemistry, and for instance, it's been really difficult for them to be able to feel emotions. For instance, they've been on antidepressants a really long time, and according to this hypnotherapist and according to the client, they're just unable to feel emotions, and they're just kind of neutral about everything. What are your thoughts on working with people with medication, Cal? And then I'll add my 2 cents after you go first.
Okay, I like going first. Let's see here. So, the main issue is doing, affect-driven therapy or hypnosis. So, like doing affect bridge age regression, or the time tunneling technique, or doing forgiveness work where they have to bring the feeling up. And I've heard stories about people being on antidepressants, anti-anxiety, and the hypnotist not being able to bring the emotion up strong enough to do the work. Now, I've never had a problem with that. I've had people that have been on antidepressants. I probably had some that are on antipsychotics, but generally I don't work with people who are psychotic. And so anti-anxiety, antidepression, these kinds of drugs. And my thought is, if you get them deep enough in hypnosis, then you can suggest that the feeling will come up, and it will come up. I've never had this be an issue. But people out there say that they do. And if that's happening, my thought is that the problem is probably not the drug. I know it's possible, and I just haven't run across someone that's been on the drugs long enough, but excuse me. The thing is, if they're in somnambulism, they can hallucinate feeling the feeling. And the inner workings of the mind knows what events are connected to that emotion. So we bring up the emotion that's connected to the problem, we regress them to that point, they revivify, relive it. And you know what? When they relive this emotional experience from the past, that event in the past, they didn't have the drugs in their system, so they're going to re-experience. This is a hallucination of the fear or the anger or the guilt or the sadness or whatever it is, and then I will continue to time tunnel back from there, or affect bridge back from there. And so in all practicality, I've never had enough medication used that stopped me from bringing up the emotion. Now, I have had one or two people that had misused drugs enough to where they were so brain damaged I couldn't work with them. And that's because they were intellectually harmed. I mean, so one was huffing. They had done so much huffing, which is inhalants, that they just could not remain focused. And to do hypnosis, they need to remain focused. In my experience, if you have someone in your chair that you can have a normal conversation with, then they have enough cognitive ability to do the hypnosis, even age regression, even forgiveness work, whatever. But you have to get them in a deep enough level of hypnosis. And one other thing, your instructions need to be congruent. Your tone of voice needs to be congruent with the suggestions that you're giving. And I've seen this over and over where people don't do this right. So it's called the meta message. It's the message that's in the tone of your voice, the speed of your voice, and that kind of thing. When you are asking for an emotion to come up, then you're going to start off with, this is an example, right? You say, in a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 5. When I get to 5, that feeling that has everything to do with why I came here today is going to come strong and powerful. 1, that feeling is starting to come up. 2, stronger and stronger. Do you see how my voice became stronger and stronger? So what I'm saying is congruent, and how I'm saying it is congruent with what I'm suggesting. 3, more and more powerful, coming up strong and powerful within you. Then what you do is, if there's any hint that they're starting to feel the emotion, watering of the eyes, tightening of the jaw, whatever it is, blood vessels pounding in their neck, you tell them about that. They say, yes, I can tell you've connected with the feeling because you're breathing more rapidly. And you feed back to them what you're observing. And that makes it even more real to them. 4, coming stronger and stronger. 5, there it is, strong and powerful. And I may even be tapping the person on the shoulder like that to kind of shake loose those emotions. And I say, now we follow that feeling back to an earlier time you felt that way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, be there. And then we're going to get into having them do the 5 important things. What's happening? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? How old are you? Is it feeling familiar and new? And in that regressed state, now they can further hallucinate the emotions from the past. Remember, a true age regression is a hallucination. So even if the part of them now is all drugged, then the part of them that's held in the mind from the subsequent events, the symptom-producing event, and the ISE, that that information, that experience of emotion is in there. And as I'm talking about that, I just thought of something what I would do if I was in a situation where the client could not, in that chair, because of been on medication for so long, or because of the high dose of medication. What I would do, I would be very sneaky, and what I would say is, we're going to go back without affect bridge. This would just be like a date-time regression. I say, in a moment, I'm going to count from 5 back to 1. When I get to 1, you're going to be at a time when you were experiencing this problem completely, fully, in a very powerful way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, we'd go back. It might be 6 months. If they've only been taking the medication for 6 months, it might be 6 years. But I'm going to go, boom, go back to that problem, that time in their life where they were having an ISE, SPE, or an SSE, and then they can fully hallucinate. There's more ways to initiate a regression than affect bridge or time tunnel. How's that, L. Ron?
That is awesome, Cal.
Thank you. Can you tell I love this stuff?
You know, even after all these years, gosh. Don't know how you do it. Although I don't think you could beat my love of hypnosis out of me with a sledgehammer, so I can definitely relate to that. That was a lot of great information, and I'd just like to add on that. I mean, with medication, obviously, medication does do certain things neurologically, physiologically to a client, but that's really between them and their doctor. Sometimes the inability to feel, if that happens, because that has happened to me, or I've suspected that that was part of the problem. I didn't tell the client that, because we don't want that belief that medication makes them unable to feel emotions getting in the way. And so if that comes up, I'll just nix it conversationally as soon as I can. Say, well, you know, and say just what Cal said. Well, you know what, I've never found that to be a problem. Once we establish the proper level of hypnosis, you can feel things just fine. And you know what, and I also take the pressure off of them and say, whatever level you got is how much you got. But ultimately, sometimes when it isn't happening, because I'm just mind reading what might be the problem within this question, is once in a while, the client will not be thinking that it's a do-with process. That is, hypnosis is a do-with process, not a do-to process. We do it together. We're a coach, we're a guide, we give people instructions, but just because I say close your eyes doesn't make you close your eyes. Who's the one that still has to close your eyes? You are, right? I can suggest that you close your eyes, but you're the one that actually has to close them or relax your body. It's half of it's focus, half of it's following instructions, and when a person says, I don't feel anything, once in a while, that's because they are not making themselves feel it. That is, the more willing they are to allow themselves to experience that emotion and to literally make themselves get in touch with it, because part of it does go to their mind, their emotions, their willpower in that moment. Somnambulism or deep somnambulism or a light state of hypnosis, it's going to also be their willingness and their understanding that they have to get in touch with that emotion however much they can, and because of the hypnosis it's going to be easier, but the responsibility for making that happen and bringing the emotion up is also within them as well as it is with us eliciting the emotion. And that's all I want to say about that. I think we're out of time. Okay. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I am L. Ron Ferguson, and I have enjoyed being here today again. If you all watching want to learn more about how to do this stuff, get a few more golden nuggets, we got a massive archive of videos on here. We give away too much content. And I definitely, I'm one of those, I want to slap Cal on the shoulder and say, stop giving away so much content. There's some really content-rich videos in our archive on calbanyan.com. If you want to have a schedule of training classes, check out hypnosiscenter.com and also check out hypnosis.org. Two ways to get a hold of me is through my email address, which is the best way, lronhypnosis@gmail.com. And check out my website, which needs some editing, safeeffectivehypnosis.com. It's been a pleasure to be here, and I'll see you next week. L. Ron Ferguson signing off.
This recording is a Cal Banyan Hypnotherapy for training and service. All rights reserved for private use only. Not be duplicated without permission. For information, go to www.hypnosis.com.